All right, so the first question. How often and what ways do you come in contact with people who have mental illness diagnosis? So how often and in what way? Yep.
Well, I would say, so up here on the reservation, very often, whether that be substance abuse, stuff like that. It's,
Yep.
I would say almost every single call we go to, someone we deal with has a mental illness.
Okay.
And in what ways, it's people calling in on people, doing abnormal behavior and stuff like
Yep.
that. So they expect, law enforcement to go, deal with them. So,
Fix it. Yep. So the second question, what kind of education or training on mental health disorders have you received? And was it required or optional? And would you like more?
okay. So every year we have Patrol Online, which is online courses, and it deals a lot with mental illnesses and law enforcement, autism as well.
Okay.
Autism is a big one. I recently just got back from CIT training through the Barbara Snyder Foundation. That's it dealt a lot with mental illnesses and people with mental illnesses.
Okay.
I think that was a 40-hour week-long course.
Oh, wow.
So I'd say I just got back from that training, so I've had a lot of training on it lately. It's always a good skill to have, and when interacting with that population, and like that training I went to, they teach you how to approach people with mental illnesses, how to speak to them, and gain trust, build rapport, stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. So third question. What two disorders do you wish you knew more about and why?
Two disorders?
Yeah.
Schizophrenia,
Okay.
and I guess substance abuse.
Why schizophrenia and substance abuse?
Schizophrenia. Just we do deal with people with schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And it's one of those mental illnesses that are behavior at times that police have to deal with them.
Yep.
Is when their behavior
Is terrible and at
is
the worst.
Yeah, when they're at their worst times. So just to know more about that one, I guess, would be more beneficial for me as an officer alone.
Yeah.
And then substance abuse, I mean, we deal with it on every single call, pretty much. So
Yeah.
whether that's alcohol, heroin, fentanyl, meth,
Right. Yeah. Okay. Kind of like the last question. As a police officer, which mental illness do you encounter the most?
substance abuse.
Substance abuse.
Yep.
Yep.
100%. And then up here, we also have a lot of fetal alcohol syndrome
Okay.
in our younger population, so we deal a lot with them,
Okay.
kids and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of behavioral disorders.
When dealing with someone who has a mental illness, what is the first thing you do? What is the first step you take?
First step I take, make sure the scene's safe.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no weapons. Is the next question, what's the next thing I do?
No.
Just that? Yeah, you make sure the scene's safe. You don't want to put yourself in danger, because if you're in danger, how are you supposed to help them? And then build rapport, build trust, try to communicate as best you can. Some people you can't communicate with,
Yeah.
because they're just, they're over that line or whatever. But try your best to get them to trust you.
All right. Do you think there are more or less people affected by mental illness since you started your career?
More.
More?
Mm-hmm. And I can say that since I started here, drugs have been skyrocketing. And that's just my population, not
Yeah.
the general population, but it's definitely had a skyrocketed.
Okay. And then compared to other calls, do mental health calls take longer to complete, or are they more work to complete?
It depends if, I don't want to say if an officer's lazy or not.
Yeah.
If they want to fix the problem right away quick, I'm sure they can, take a couple minutes to do it. But if you really want to help the person, you're going to have to take your time and really help that person.
Yeah. And then last question. If you had the ability to end mental illness, what would you do? And how would you do it?
Say that again?
If you had the ability to help end mental illness, what part would you play? How would How would you
How
help?
would I? It's a weird question. We're gonna. I would. What kind of question is that?
The website.
Read it one more time to me.
Okay. If you had the ability to help end mental illness, how would you help?
I would help people, just give them the opportunity to get resources that
Yeah.
out there, So a lot of people around here, they don't have licenses, they don't have vehicles,
Yeah.
they can't get places.
Okay.
And now our county, we have a correspondent for mental illness, and she's really good with following up on people with mental illnesses and filling out paperwork, getting them the help they need.
Yeah.
So just by me communicating with the co-responder, that alone can help
Yeah.
treat mental illness at least.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
yeah.